still remember the day I met Billy. So many years ago, when I was a different man. Some friends from my past and I were watching the football game at my house. I had become drunk, as did most of them. We were out on the front lawn, and we had no fence or anything to hide us. We were loud and proud back then. Billy, dressed in black despite the summer heat, was walking by with his head down and hands in his pocket. The other team had just scored a touchdown, and I shouted my drunken disapproval and threw the half-empty beer can towards him. It fell short, though not by much, and splashed the alcohol on his shoes. He looked up, brow furrowed, and eyes enraged, and shouted at me. He said, "Watch it, you cunt! And keep the fucking noise down." I was taken aback at first, surprised that this small boy had the nerve to call out to me like that. Inebriated as I was, I took out my pistol and aimed a wobbly barrel at his chest. "The fuck did you just call me? You better watch who you're talking to," I said. He didn't so much as flinch. Rather, he reached into his pocket and produced a small pocket knife. I laughed and looked back at my friends who shared in my laughter. I looked back to Billy. He flicked the knife open. "Pull the trigger," he said. His gaze was unsettling, and I hesitated. He repeated himself, insisting. I obliged, and the gun jolted as the bullet raced towards him. He dodged, rolled toward me, and came up on one knee. Like lightning, he buried the knife into my ankle, and I shouted, but I had little time to react. He pulled the blade out and brought it up, slicing the little finger of my left hand, which was holding my right hand to keep the gun steady, causing me to pull it back in surprise and pain. His free hand grabbed my wrist, and he spun around, standing so that my arm was over his right shoulder, and his back was to me. He brought my arm down, and a loud crack preceded the searing pain spreading up my arm and shoulder. I let go of the gun, and he yanked it away, aiming at the ground and firing a bullet into my foot. I jumped back and hit the side of my house hard, leaning against it. He turned and fired 2 rounds, one in each leg, before pointing the gun at my 2 companions, one of which was pulling out his own pistol. They froze as the barrel was aimed at the armed one's chest. Cowards as they were, he dropped his gun, and the 2 put their hands up. Billy's face remained the same angered expression the entire time. "How dare you bring guns to a knife fight?" he said, unloading the magazine from the pistol and throwing them both to the dirt before walking away. In utter agony, I called to him. "Kid! Who are you? I'll kill you!" Though I threatened his life, he turned to me, his eyes hidden behind his mangled mop of jet hair, and smirked. "I'm Billy, and you can try." His words were calm, and he turned and strolled down the street once again. The whole event lasted less than 3 minutes, but its significance would last a lifetime.